Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan and thank you for coming to the channel. Okay, look at this cute little fishy. How about that? That, my friends, is a young flame honey gourami. So cute. And look at him moving those ventral fins. That's the newest fish in my fish room. I didn't need another fish, and I didn't impulse buy him either. I brought in a bunch of plants to my local fish shop, one of my favorites, Ocean Design Aquarium, northwest side of Chicago. Tony, what a wonderful person. Anyway, I brought him some Blixa japonica, pretty hard to find plant, and not always the easiest to grow, but if you give it the right conditions, it's fabulous. Now, none of it's in this aquarium, but this fish is because, and the reason I'm making this video is because of this fish, and the reason I'm mentioning Blixa japonica is because, among other things, Tony gave me that adorable little fish in trade for that plant. One of the fun things in this hobby is the centuries-old behavior of bartering. Local fish shops don't have a lot of liquidity, shall we say. It's not a big profit margin kind of business. These are hobbyists like me who've gone one step further, put their whole life's equity into opening a fish shop. And most of them barely get by, but somehow they do. So when you bring in baby fish or plants, pretty much those two things kind of cover the bases. You're rarely going to get cash money. And why would you want cash money from these people? They're just like you and me. I respect that, I understand it, and I don't want his money either. But I also feel real good about trading, making sure they get the better end of the deal. And they're not fools either. They're making sure they're getting the better end of the deal. But I don't care, because the better end of the deal is a deal. And so this $7 fish, maybe about $100 worth of Blixa japonica. That's an expensive plant. If you look it up, if you can find it. And I gave Tony what I would consider to be at least $100 worth of that plant. And he gave me one portion of blackworms, live blackworms, and that little flame honey gourami, which I knew I could put into this aquarium because this aquarium also housed the honey gourami that I got from him, coincidentally enough, about 1.5 years ago. That fish ultimately perished. Now it was a lot older, and who knows, maybe I did something wrong, maybe it was aggressed upon, I'm not sure, but it perished, and I didn't do anything about it. But I always thought I would replace it with another one, not a different fish. I love honey gourami because you only need one. They're pretty hardy, the other fish notwithstanding. They're inexpensive, and they're freaking gorgeous, and they're cute. And it's a gourami, so it's a labyrinth fish. You can see the iconic gourami morphology, the ventral fins, that shape. I call them the alternative to a betta fish, in that you could have one beautiful, colorful betta fish, but unless you're lucky, it's going to come with a certain amount of baggage, maybe aggression, maybe a lot of aggression towards anything in your tank, and most definitely towards the smaller denizens of your tank, be they small tetras, like these green neon tetras back there. Look at that. Look at that shimmer and the gold brass tetras. Look at that. I'm getting off point because I'm showing off. But this light, this Chihiro's RGB Slim, and I'm getting a good camera shot with zero reflection, and it looks pretty high def through my lens, but I can see those metallic hues, just gorgeous. But I have nothing in this aquarium with the colors of that little Honey Gourami. Now I've got these amazing longfin white albino Coreodoras. God, I wish they would spawn for me. I would probably make it a point to figure out what to do with those eggs if I ever saw any on the glass, but I don't. But look at that fish. Are you kidding me? I've never seen an albino Coreodora as beautiful as that fish right there. As I was saying, these little Honey Gouramis are peaceful and passive, and you only need one. I'm not saying they won't eat a little shrimplet if they were hungry and happened upon it. They're pretty aggressive when it comes to the baby brine shrimp, but we're talking about a minuscule live fish food that pretty much all fish go bonkers for. Baby brine shrimp, live baby brine shrimp, will bring out the aggression in even a dwarf flame Honey Gourami. Guppies, anything. That's the desert island fish food. If you can only feed one live fish food, by far and away that's the one, even for adult fish, even as big as angelfish. They just eat more of them. So this aquarium is getting ready to need a trim. I think it looks beautiful like this. Those red bronze cryptocorn right there with those fabulous healthy leaves, not a lick of algae on them. That carpet down there of Helanthrium, dwarf sage, dwarf hairgrass, a little bit of moss, a little bit of algae, it's all in there. There's some Amano shrimp eating said algae. See, there's a little bit of hair algae right there. And these three Amanos are working it. I've also got a group of Bexford red pencilfish. They're not very red, honestly. There's a plump female. Look at how fat she is. I bet the farm that of course is a female. It's so gravid, so big. Will it spawn? Probably. Will I ever see the babies? Doubtful. There's just too much going on in this aquarium, and there's too much history. I've had this tank set up 1.5 years with those fish, and I've seen fat female pencilfish before, and I've even seen spawning behavior before, but I've never seen a baby, not even when I examined the very top of this group of Lemonphilia sessiflora, which is where I'd likely find any fry, really, if they were smart. It's where I do find Neocaridina. I have some Bloody Mary in here, and that they're super red cherry shrimp. This is Rotala atra with the gorgeous red tops. Actually, it's pretty red through and through. Loses some of it on the way down, but... And then finally, Pogostemon octopus over here. You can see one of those super red cherry shrimp in there if you look twice. It's in the shade, but there it went. I run CO2 in this aquarium, if that's not obvious from the plush, lush look, feel of these plants. Oh, and by the way, in these two fun glass, stick-on-back glass growing pots, I've got some, I think this is a Rotala right there. Doesn't look like anything special. And then over here I have a stem plant that I'll try to get a better camera shot. If this thing does well in your tank, it's really beautiful. I think it's called a Hyperoides. It has a unique, robust, full circle of plant leaves around that go up, and it's pretty thick, and it has that pink color. I'm not sure why I'm growing these plants, honestly, right here. They're not, I don't have any real place for them, but I just thought it's sort of a fun experiment. It's not hurting the tank. You can see an Amano shrimp enjoying that piece of Rotala, if that's what it is. I forget, and I beg your pardon. It could be Ludwigia. There's a Autosynclus photo bombing. But this Anubias here, I've got several varieties. Now there you see some green spot algae on one leaf right there. I could clip that leaf for sure, and probably will. But throughout this entire video, I mean, if you look at the rest of this Anubias, there's a little bit of it there, here and there. But between those Autosynclus, there's a pink ram's horn snail. I think there's some neorites in here, and the Amano shrimp, and running CO2 and doing my water changes, being vigilant. I have minimum algae, and what algae I do have, I find at acceptable levels. Algae is not our enemy per se. It can be disgusting and make your beautiful aquarium look less beautiful. Most fish don't complain about it though. As a matter of fact, most fish find it highly desirable. It's for the aesthetic primarily that we try to keep algae at bay. Not so much for the health of the aquarium, although too much algae can be indicative of both health and unhealth in your system. Overfeeding can lead to too much algae, etc., etc. But I did want to show off that gorgeous little new fish and tell you why I got him, how I got him, where I got him, and talk a little bit more about this glorious, adorable flame Honey Gourami. Next time you're thinking about a beta tank, think about one of these. If you have a community tank but you want a beta, think about one of these. And they come in different colors too, yellow, more pure red, more pure yellow. This is flame, so it's sort of half and half. And it isn't full grown, so the color will evolve. There's also the wild version. These are not dwarf gouramis. Those are a bit bigger and more aggressive, although still a pretty good candidate for much of the same things I've been talking about, but nothing is as peaceful and lovely as the dwarf Honey Gourami. Hi, Boo Boo. That's what I call him, Boo Boo. Okay, everybody, I hope you appreciated this fun video. I sure did. As always, keep your hands in the tank, and ciao for now.